What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to be talking about with you guys. For those of you who haven't heard about this by now, it is now currently being reported that Damian Lillard would actually like to be traded to the Philadelphia 76ers or the New York Knicks, and this is all being reported by Quinton Mayo. For this video, I will be focusing mainly on the Philadelphia 76ers. After all, I have made a couple videos about the New York Knicks, which, again, if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend you guys go and check them out. Again, this is a pretty big news because not many people have really considered the Philadelphia 76ers to be in the race for Damian Lillard, which I think is quite outrageous. Like, the three main teams that people have considered are the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, and of course the New York Knicks. Let's be honest here, no matter how much Damian Lillard will probably want to play with LeBron, it's not happening. I just can't see it happening unless the Portland Trail Blazers say, hey, we've been loyal, you've been loyal to us for a long time. If you want to be traded to the Lakers, we'll, live up to that, kind of promise because of what you've been able to do for us, even if the Trailblazers don't get much back for him. Again, the best player they could probably get is like Kyle Kuzma and a sign and trade of THT, Talon and Tucker. That's what I'm saying. The Lakers is just not going to happen. While the Warriors, I think, would be very likely, considering he is from Oakland and San Fran's pretty close to Oakland from what I know. And, of course, we look at the other fact that the Warriors have a stockpile of picks and draft assets. So, again, I definitely have them as, like, my second most, rated team to get them. And then, of course, number one, the New York Knicks, who I think are the most likely team to go ahead and try and get him. They also have a stockpile of picks and young players to trade up for him. But the Philadelphia 76ers, they should be definitely considered. They should be much more talked about than what they are right now. Like, it is a little bit of a disgrace how no one is even mentioning the Philadelphia 76ers at this point. And why wouldn't the Sixers be able to trade for him? Like, let's look at it like this. No matter how much people will like to disrespect Ben Simmons, it is still a very, very big chance that Ben Simmons, of course, does get traded to this Trailblazers team. And don't get me wrong, I know his value has diminished quite a bit and he's lost a lot of respect, especially after he didn't play for Australia in the Olympics. Like, as a person who lives in Australia right now, I can say he is not very highly regarded at the moment whatsoever. But again, he still has quite a bit of value, being a guy that is like one jump shot away from being a possible top 10 player in the league. But of course, because of that, he doesn't have that jump shot. He honestly sometimes hurts the team more than he helps them in the playoffs, because you can't just rely on a dude to stand there and really watch the offense. It just doesn't work, if you know what I mean. But if you're the Trailblazers, if you can get this dude, you're just doing it. Like, if Damian Lillard if he requests a trade, if you can get, like, Ben Simmons, a couple of young players here and there as well, which it's not like the Philadelphia 76ers, don't have. They've definitely got some young players. And then, of course, I think the Philadelphia 76ers could, like, absolutely throw in so many picks. Like, legitimately, if you're going to be trading away Damian Lillard, the only all-star you could probably, like, get back in return for Dame, that teams will be offering right now, is probably Ben Simmons, because all the other teams are just going to be offering young assets, etc. So, look, who knows, they might go and do this. Like, look at this. The Sixers, they've got Tyrese Maxey, absolute gun, 15.3 minutes per game, 8 points, 1.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 30% from 3. He's only 20 years of age. The kid's a freak. Matisse Thybulle as well, 24 years of age, currently killing it for the Australian basketball team. Those are both very good young players. Shake Milton as well, 24 years of age. These three players are very, very solid. Plus, I'd assume the Portland Trail Blazers would even be, like, interested in role players like Furkan Korkmaz to maybe come in, like, a sign and trade or something like that. Plus, the Sixers have, like, a bunch of picks. Like, if you could get Ben Simmons, I'd say Shake Milton would probably be in this deal. And Tyrese Maxey, I just have a feeling the Sixers don't want to give up Halliburton. That's just probably not going to happen. And then, of course, you throw in 4 future first-round picks. It's a pretty good deal if you're a, of course, Portland Trail Blazers fan. So I definitely think something like that could potentially happen. Like, whether or not you want to disrespect Ben Simmons or not, look, I very much wanted to recently, especially after he kind of turned his back on the country that he, grew up and lived in and won't even represent us in the Olympics. Again, I know he's very hated right now, and even in his own country, but I still feel like that's no reason to disrespect what he's been able to do on the court. If you look past his terrible playoffs this year and not overall good season, he has still been a very, very good player for this Philadelphia 76ers team, and at one point in the 2019-20 season, was pretty much their most valuable player, really, at one stage. So, let's be honest here. That's just how it is. Like, don't really disrespect Simmons' name, honestly. And then again, of course, Trailblazers want to do this deal, I'm sure they'll look to trade CJ McCollum away, probably get a couple first-round picks. They could legitimately trade a bunch of players and probably end up with like 8 to 10 first-round picks once they've all done this. I'm sure like Nurkic might be worth, maybe not a first, it could be worth a protected first-round pick, I suppose. So many of these players, like, just here and there as well, there are value to these players, and realistically, if they can, find a way, they could maybe trade, like, who knows, CJ McCollum to the Lakers, they've been interested in him. If you can get, like, Talon Horton-Tucker, a first-round pick, and Kyle Kuzma out of, really out of that CJ McCollum deal, then you're winning. Like, a first-round pick and a young player like THT, I know you bring in Kyle Kuzma, and you'll probably get memes that you're, trying to create the Shanghai Sharks with, of course, Ben Simmons and, Kyle Kuzma. But I think you can look past that, because honestly, you'd be able to, like, trade all these players in stockpile picks, and you could be looking at a really interesting team. Like, next season, Tyrese Maxey at point guard, THT at shooting guard, Derrick Jones Jr. maybe at small forward, Ben Simmons at power forward, and whoever they rock with at center. Well, off the bench, they could have, like, maybe Shake Milton, Kyle Kuzma, Robert Covington, and the players they select with the first-round picks. You'll be looking at a really good team. That team will still compete for the playoffs, and it probably will almost make the playoffs nearly at this point. So, the Trailblazers team will be commanding respect if they can get something like that to work. And they'll have a bunch of stockpile picks. Like, look, they won't have as much picks as Philadelphia, as the Oklahoma City Thunder will. But again, having, like, well-established players like Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, who are all growing into something pretty special, and, still some very good and consistent role players on this team, it is a very nice squad that they could be lining up. Plus, the Philadelphia 76ers, they do really good on this trade, as you can get rid of, Ben Simmons, who I think works better as a power forward now in the NBA, so that's what I think as well. He'd be good for the Trailblazers. And then you can kind of rock with this team of, like, you got Damian Lillard at point guard. You'd probably say Seth Curry and Danny Green will still start with Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. And then off the bench, they'll have a well-improved Matisse Thybulle, especially after this Olympics, where he's going absolutely insane. Probably George Hill, Dwight Howard still. It'd be a pretty cool team. That team will be one of the most favourites, I think, to win the East next year. Like, you practically got 3 All-Stars still with Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and Damian Lillard, plus a bunch of good young role players here and there, and just good role players in general, really. So again, there's definitely a lot to work with. Like, both teams will be fun to watch. Philadelphia in their own respect with Damian Lillard, plus, like, a Portland Trailblazers team with a bunch of players that just got traded away. Like, the sky's the limit for Talon Horton-Tucker. He could be a really good player in this league. Same with, like, Tyrese Maxey, and Ben Simmons still as well. He'll probably be an all-star, really, on this team. They just need to find a center. Like, I'm pretty sure Nurkic will request a trade if they trade away Damian Lillard. But if they can, like, offer a center in free agency like Jarrett Allen a deal, jeez, this team becomes very, very insane. But of course, if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/forum channel. So don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about this trade for both teams? Who do you guys think wins? Who do you guys think loses? Of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, to all my other channels. And just let me know your thoughts and opinions. So I was saying, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.